Hello, this is Jill from Paper Daisy Crafting. Thank you for joining me again today. And this is our project for today. It's another card. I've made two previously, and this is my third in my series of Above the Clouds. And this time I've only used the little tiny balloons, not the big ones, which I've used previously. Lots of little rainbow balloons across a little strip of sky there. I think that's quite effective. Quite pleased with that. So I'll show you how I made it. Just to say that this set comes in a bundle with a punch. I do love a punch that goes with a stamp set, so quick and easy to use, so that you can punch out the balloons and the basket and part of the bunting all at once. And at the moment you'll get 10% off if you buy both of those together. So just to say, if you were interested, that's quite a good bargain. Right, so we're going to start, and we're going to start with my normal card blank, which is, I start with an A4 sheet of card, which is 29.7 centimetres by 21 centimetres. I then cut it at 14.8 centimetres and then score at 10.5 centimetres. I will put the imperial measurements on my blog. Then I need a strip to make my sky across here. So I've got a panel of Whisper White card that I'm going to print on. My Whisper White card measures 3 centimetres by 16 centimetres. And I'm just going to take a bit of scrap paper because I'm going to be stamping. I'm going to take one of our new in colours, Seaside Spray, which is a lovely blue. Oh, I've just put my finger in it. Hey ho, let's find a tissue. Look at that. Can you see that? Honestly, what a mess. And then I'm going to take the cloud stamp. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to ink up my stamp, stamp it off, and then stamp my cardstock. So it doesn't matter if it goes off the edge a little bit. So ink up, stamp off, stamp. Ink up, stamp off, stamp. Ink up, stamp off, stamp. And ink up, stamp off, stamp. And that's very, very quickly my panel with the clouds done. You need to stamp off. Can you see how dark the ink would be if you didn't stamp off? So you just didn't need to stamp off so you get a lighter colour. And depending on how long you leave it on because I'm using paper here, which absorbs the ink, depending on how long you leave it on, then the lighter colour. If you leave it on longer, you'll get a lighter colour. Right, and then I'm going to take a panel of Seaside Spray, which measures 3.25 centimetres by 16, and I'm going to glue that onto there. So I'm going to come in with my Tombow, which I had, there it is. I knew I'd got it out. So just a little bit of Tombow along this panel, like so. I tend to always use this thick end now, unless I'm doing something very fine, because it's got like this spreader that you can spread the glue very finely, and then you find it doesn't get everywhere like it does sometimes when you use the thin edge, the pointed dispenser. So which way around are we going to do this? That way around, I think. There we go. So try and get the border on each side about the same, like so. So you just want a little border of Seaside Spray showing through there. Okay, and then that is going to mount onto our card blank onto here, and it overlaps by a little bit because I like to come in and trim that afterwards so that I get a really, really straight edge, which looks much more professional. So just a little bit of glue along here. Easier to see where the glue is going on a coloured piece of card. It's quite tricky on a Whisper White piece. So you can smooth that out. Make sure the glue is not too gloopy. There we go. Do last forever, these Tombows. I've had that one quite a long time and it's still going strong. Right, and then I'm going to glue this about there, I think. I'll just measure that, how far down the card I am for you. So it is about 2¼ centimetres from the top of the card. Could do with being a little bit lower, I think, if you wanted it to be. The Tombow will give you a little bit of wiggle room if you don't get it in the right place to start with. But then I'm going to come in and then with my scissors, using this side of the card as my guide, I can trim off there and get a really nice flush edge. And the same on this side. Get rid of that bit, like so. There we go. Right, so that's the basis of our card. I am then going to come in with balloons. So we're going to take a piece of cardstock, which I had and now I've lost. Here it is. Okay, and I'm going to print with Memento ink on these 3 balloons, 3 little balloons, and print them onto the card like so. And then I'm going to colour, and in fact I'm only going to colour the biggest one because I've actually made some already. So the colours that I've used for these, I'm using the Blends pen, are light Night of Navy, light Bermuda Bay, dark mint macaron, light shaded spruce, light Highland heather, and dark balmy blue. So those are the colours that I'm using here, and I'm just going to colour in, like I say, the big balloon here. We'll start with Bermuda Bay down here. I'm not doing any shading at the minute. They're very small areas to do on these balloons, so I'm not going to use any shading. I'm just colouring inside the black lines. Shouldn't run and shouldn't bleed, because the Memento ink is designed to be used with blends with alcohol markers. And then a little bit of purple and Highland heather, like so. And I think we might have a bit of balmy blue. And so I'm not going to colour, I've already prepared the other ones I needed. I just wanted to show you one of them, but you will obviously need to colour in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 balloons all together you'll need for your card. And then I'm going to come in with light shaded spruce, which is very similar to the Bermuda Bay, so I'm not sure you can see much of a difference there. And then finally just a little spot on the basket in the bronze blend, and that's all you need to do. And then I just fussy cut all of these round the outside of the black line, so just very carefully. Sometimes it's easier to take off the big bit, a smaller bit to work with. There we go. And there. That's my balloon, and I've got the others that I need ready to use. What I'm going to do is, for the ones that are stuck down to the flat, I'm going to use a tiny bit of Tombow on a lid here with a cocktail stick, because I don't want, that might be too tiny. There we go. I don't want to get glue everywhere, and they're very tiny pieces. So if I come back in with my original, first of all we need a big one sort of in the middle. So you can see I've used different colours here. So on the first one I used rainbow, on this one I've used my favourite colour collection at the moment, which is purples and greens and blues. So that one goes there. We then want one with a stripe there. You can alter the layout of these, you don't have to put them exactly where I've put them, but as I've already got it done, I thought I might stick to it. And then I need one that goes flat on the card here, which is here. So a little bit of Tombow on the back, spread with a cocktail stick, just a little tiny bit of glue, and then we don't get glue everywhere. Him up at the top, and then another big one there. And I just thought this was very simple design, but I really liked it. There, I was inspired by another card I saw, but I've actually changed it up quite a lot, so it's become my own design, even though it was inspired by something I saw on Pinterest. There we go. I actually entered one of my balloon cards for the Global Design Project Challenge this week. We were looking for balloons, and I just happened to have made these 3 balloon cards, so I had one that I could enter. It's the first time I've ever had time to enter one of those, so be interesting to see what happens and what their winners cards are like. Right, okay, I've got one more, the big one that I did, and I just need to put some dimensionals on the back there because obviously I'd only just done it. The others I'd already labelled up with dimensionals, so I just need to do that. And there we go. And then one more up there. Oh, I'm quite liking this colour scheme with balloons. Very different. I always think of rainbow colours with balloons, but actually I quite like these. Quite like these ones all together. Makes the sky look a bit more cloudy and stormy, doesn't it? And then all I need to do is print the greeting, and the greeting I've used is the one from the Butterfly Gala stamp set. There's a Butterfly Gala. Thank you so very, very much. Thank you so very much. I'm always needing thank you cards in my business, so it's always useful to have a few made. So, and I really like this greeting. It's 2 nice fonts mixed up and a really nice size. So again, Memento ink, Tuxedo black, and I just need to try and get under the, just going to have to pull this down a little bit, otherwise I can't see to get it straight. There we go. And there we have it. 2 hot air balloon cards, 2 hot air thank you cards. Very, very simple to make. Hope you've enjoyed that. Hope you might have a go. Hope you might feel inspired to buy the Above the Clouds stamp set. See how useful it is, especially for those difficult to make men's cards. It's always difficult to find themes for men's cards, and I think this is quite a nice one. It's quite a nice generic. Doesn't have to be anyone who desperately likes hot air balloons. It can be just something that men quite like. Anyway, that's it from me today. Thank you for watching. Don't forget that all the things I've used are available in my shop. So if you go down, you'll see a link. You can click through to my online shop, or you can click through to my blog, and you can see all my blog posts there, all my projects that I make, and you could sign up for email notifications on my blog as well, so that you get a notification every time I post, so that you don't miss anything. And of course you can subscribe to my YouTube channel as well, so that you don't miss anything. But that's it for me today. Thanks very much for watching. I'll look forward to seeing you again soon with another project. Thanks very much. Bye bye.